This is a Big Facts Network exclusive.
Actually, so why you and Mike was the only ones at the Verzuz?
Because
that same.
They had already left the group.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make.
You came. So did y'all at least give them an invitation to come?
So, you play AAU basketball, right?
Yeah.
You had anybody that quit the team?
Yeah, we have.
So when you go to the championship, did you invite them to come back?
Before Southern R&B had its own swagger, before every city tried to blend soul and hip-hop like we did, there was Slim from 112. Born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, Cleveland Avenue to be exact, Slim became the smooth, soulful frontman of one of the city's most iconic R&B groups, 112. He was not just singing, he was storytelling, with a voice that felt like love, pain, and everything in between. Coming up through talent shows, church choirs, and the streets of ATL, 112 brought something different to the table. Harmony with edge, smooth with soul. They helped define late 90s R&B. Their sound lived in the club, on the radio, and in the hearts of a whole generation. Grammy wins, platinum plaques, iconic hooks, and Slim's falsetto was the fingerprint. Only You, Cupid, Peaches and Cream. Atlanta didn't just run hip-hop, we ran R&B too. Even in his solo career, Slim proved he could carry the vibe by himself, floating on tracks like So Fly and giving us melodies that never missed. This is the sound that made Atlanta sway. This is the voice that made Atlanta feel. This is Slim from 112. Now that's Atlanta Culture.
Back at you with another episode of Atlanta Coaches Podcast with your host, me, Moss B. I got a very, very special guest with me today.
Yes, sir.
Slim from the legendary group 112. What up, homie?
Hey, man, what's poppin', bro? You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
Yeah,
man. Chilling. Glad you had brought me here, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching the show. I've always been paying attention. Y'all have some of the most amazing interviews, so you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. I think this gonna go rather well, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
You're a
man.
legend in your own right, man.
Yes,
we
sir.
Can't wait to hear from you.
Yeah, man. Man.
Since this is the Atlanta Coaches Podcast, you know we got to start off with what hospital was you born in?
Man, I'm a Grady baby, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a straight up Grady baby, man. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, straight ATLian, real Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So,
and what high school did you attend?
I went to George High, black and orange. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, you know.
Which is now South Atlanta.
It's South Atlanta, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, when Mike and Durant graduated, it was South Atlanta, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah,
so what side would you say, or what hood would you claim?
Well, I'm from Zone 3. We're over there, this Pool Creek, Cleveland Avenue.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Cleveland Air.
yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? So,
in front of trenches.
Well, you know,
Trench work.
I can't help what my mom and daddy made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Moved me to, but you know what I'm saying? But
That's
hey,
real
man,
Atlanta.
I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love my spot.
So what about Atlanta made you who you are today?
Well, you know, first off, ATL culture has influenced the world. You know what I mean? So, man, you know, just it's just crazy because, you know, no matter what it is, when you look at Atlanta, we used to go from Coca-Cola to like all, you know, like Atlanta Braves, the Hawks, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that's been from here, from MLK and Mayor Young, Andrew Young, and you know what I'm saying? Like I looked at all of the history there, you know what I'm saying? And it's just the history of black people, you know what I'm saying? Just pure black excellence.
Yeah. We've been running things for a while here. In
Yeah.
Yeah, like I ain't never seen a white mayor. I tell people that shit all the time.
Man.
We ain't never grew up under a white mayor.
Never. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Nah, I can't.
Cause you even when it was like Maynard, like
You know what I'm saying?
that was Maynard.
Yeah.
Right after
But
Maynard,
we already know, man.
Andrew.
And yeah, exactly.
Then it's been black.
Then it's been all black.
Yeah,
man.
So take me, man. What was it like before the musical fame?
Well, you know what I'm saying? When I was in school, you know, I wasn't probably the most popular person, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was academically inclined. I was playing the cello. I was first cello since like third grade. So that was my love. So that's where I was. People really didn't know I could sing. I was never in like chorus or anything like that. You know what I mean? The way I started singing was through church. And, you know, it just started from there, from humble beginnings. And, you know what I'm saying? Just working for everything that I've I've always been questioned because, you know, I was too little to play these sports. I was too short to be in this right here. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, how do I fit in? So I figured it out. You know what I'm saying? Grace of God.
So let me ask you a question, man. See, you already got to one question already. I was gonna ask you how did you get into music, but you kind of already answered that one. So I'm gonna ask you this, man. Is it true that you and Mike found out y'all were cousins later on in life?
Man, you know, this is how crazy how things is, man. So, and you know, what's crazy is like my cousin, so big shout out to my boy, my cousin Reggie, Reggie in Forest Park. He kept asking like, yo, hey man, the grandma out in Forest Park, right? And I'm like, yeah. He was just like shaking his head, like. So I'm thinking like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, like, you know, I'm just thinking like, oh well, we all from the same spot, you know what I'm saying? I'm in Forest Park, you know, and I'm talking about the yard, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know about the yard, you know. You know what I'm saying? But man, you know, time later, you know what I'm saying? Mike had went and took this test, you know what I'm saying? One of them DNA tests, right? And like just seeing what, you know, like looking at your going back, looking at your family history and stuff. And all of a sudden, one of my cousins reached out to his sister and was like, hey, we cousins.
And y'all in the same damn group.
Now, when Mike, he was looking at me, he was like, hey man, you know this person right here? And when he said a name, I was like, hell yeah, that's Lake City. Yeah, that's my cousin.
Yeah.
He was like, dang, we cousins, man. And he showed me, so I got a last name that, you know what I'm saying, you can't pretend on, you know what I'm saying? So all that time, you know, ever since I've known him, we've always been the closest. We never understood why. We were always together.
It was in the blood.
Now it's starting to make sense.
Yeah,
man. So big shout out to my boy Prince, man. You know what I'm saying? Brother cousin.
Yeah. So
man.
Tell me back and take me back to the time when Puffy met y'all in the parking lot of 112.
Man, this was wild too, man. So straight up, I'm gonna just tell you something, man. Like my mom's evangelist, right? So I couldn't listen to no secular music, and I definitely couldn't be out past a certain amount of time. Now, the group, it wasn't 112, it was Forte then. They knew, you know what I'm saying? So, man, we get the phone call, you know what I'm saying? Say, hey, this guy, man, you know what I'm saying? He got this label. He from New York. He about to, you know what I'm saying, go to this club. I'm like, club? Man, we 16. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta go. What club we going to? Again, you can't, I don't think you get in 559 now, you know. But, you know,
so I'm thinking like that club assessed when you were 16?
I did go.
Yeah.
I had Atlanta Live, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We talking about the license to chill card, you know what I'm saying? The Pepsi license chill. See, I'm dead Atlanta. But we end up going there. I snuck out. You know what I'm saying? I climbed out the window. I had snuck out. Jumped in, you know what I'm saying? The Honda Accord, you know what I'm saying? Mike had mama call. We drove out there. So we end up meeting up with them. And we sang everything we knew. Everybody knew Forte. Our whole thing was harmony, and you know what I'm saying. And the people that was there was me, Mike, Deron, and Reginald. So now Reginald, he used to be in the group Forte, but they were older than us, and you know how it was. You know, when you graduate, you going to college. But you going to the armed forces, you get the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? So he went to the armed forces, and he just so happened to came back from basic training. He knew the songs. So us four, he was like, man, I ride with you out there. You know what I'm saying? So it was me, Deron, Mike, and Reggie, and we were the ones that, you know what I'm saying, met with
Puff.
And he was like, hey man.
So that was the time he went on to sign y'all right away then?
Well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Well, it took a little bit more convincing though, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the one thing, you know, I mean, we were hood, right? You know, so sometimes, you know, like, I know you from the east side. I used to get y'all out on the barbershop, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna hold you now, you know, because Mike's dad, he cut hair and everybody went to him. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, I ain't had that $10. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
yeah.
the hairline gonna look a little rough. You feel me? Like, you know, we looked a little, you know, we can sing though. We can sing. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta put on a hat though. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah, man. But we looked a little crazy. So, you know what I'm saying? Puff probably was like, oh, this sound good. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But big shout out to Bear. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Bear Lope.
Bear Lope. You know what I'm saying? He definitely he's a master barber.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? He had us clean.
Yeah.
But once, you know what I'm saying? Once he had us looking right, then people could see us, you know, in another light.
So I heard y'all say the group used to be named Forte, right?
Yeah.
What made y'all change it to 112?
Man, so y'all remember rapping Forte. Like,
I
you know what I'm saying?
remember from the West Coast.
So on the West Coast, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we didn't want to be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we were like, hey, man, you know, his name, he was already out. He popping. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, you know, we wanted to, you know, align ourselves up with something from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? Where we were like, well, man, we got to discover right out there in the parking lot of 112.
You know
what I'm saying? And so it was like, hey, man, you think we can name ourselves after the club? And so at the time, the laws there, you know what I'm saying, you couldn't really trademark a number. You can now. I know that.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But you know.
So y'all got it from the club.
We named ourselves
That's
after,
what y'all
you know
found it. That makes sense.
So it made it so boom, you know what I'm saying? It popped on. So every time anybody saw 112, you know, it was so many people thought that was our club.
Look, for real?
Hey, man, yeah, because the owner, right? The owner, you know what I'm saying? I don't we call him Santa Claus, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, man, the owner, you know, he knew us, and you know what I'm saying? We were like, man, hey, man, you know, we can use your name or whatever. He was like, shit, I can do better than that. We was putting our plaques on the walls, you know what I'm saying? We putting our plaques on the wall. You know what I'm saying? So people were coming in, they would see our plaques on the wall. Everybody be like, yo,
oh,
man,
that's
their club.
Yeah.
Oh, we were looking, that was big right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How a dude from Cleveland Avenue gonna have a club?
Come on, man.
Man.
That's
But,
good marketing right there.
But that was amazing though,
Say y'all niggas out there balling early.
We balling early, man.
So check this out, man. You was the oldest in the group, but the group was still young.
Yeah.
So how did your parents...
But everybody thought I was the youngest.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
So how did your parents feel about y'all all moving to New York at that time?
Oh, she hated it. Man, I had the mama that was like, you know, like I said, she was evangelist. You can't serve two masters. You gonna pick one or you gonna pick the other. And I remember looking at my mom, I told her, because one time I told Mike, I said, man, my mom, she not respecting the fact that, you know what I'm saying, that I really want to do this. Now, mind you, you know, I had full ride scholarships, I had academic scholarships, I had music scholarships, like I said, I played the cello, and you know, and I was flying planes. I thought that I was about to be a pilot. Big shout out to Killer Mike, you know what I'm saying? Me and Killer Mike was in the same summer program where we flew single and double engine Cessnas. You know what I'm saying? Where Mr. Berto was our counselor or the coordinator. And yeah, man. I was trying to explain to my mama, like, hey, you know, listen, at the end of the day, my pulpit, you know what I'm saying? I live my life right. My pulpit can be bigger than any pulpit you be in. So, you know what I'm saying? She said, yeah, you better. I'm going to beat you. Boy, I will beat the skin off your body,
if you don't make it, it's on. I fuck with her for that.
Man. No, big shout out to my mom, you know what I'm saying? That's my ride or die, you know what I'm saying? Like,
since you was the oldest, did you play the father figure of the group?
Man, no. Mike was the Sergeant Slaughter of the group. You know what I'm saying? And when I say Sergeant Slaughter, you know, like, so with my personality, everybody know me as Slim. My mom named me Slim. And then, you know what I'm saying? It was, you know, she made it cool. But people that really know me, they call me Shy. You know what I'm saying? They call me Shy because I'm really like laid back. And I hardly don't say nothing. And I just play positions. You know what I'm saying? So back in my position in Forte, I wasn't the lead singer. I wasn't the person, you know, I might have had my little part where, you know, you get the falsetto and everybody like, woo, you know. But as far as like being like in the forefront, I wasn't that. I'd be do the intricate parts of the notes and stuff like that. But, you know, got to New York, you know what I'm saying? Puff like, yo, listen to his voice.
Yeah.
He has a
most
different
distinct
voice. And at that time, it was a plethora of groups. So what's going to differentiate
y'all group
us from everybody else? You
Mm-hmm.
know, and he was like, man, I've heard y'all voices before. This one right here, man, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So we had to figure it out
when
there.
When you come on the song, everybody know who it is.
They gonna know it.
Yeah, they know the voice is very, very distinctive. So I wanted to ask you this, man. How was life like compared in New York and compared to Atlanta?
Ooh. Besides cold, that
was one major difference.
One thing right there. And I mean, you know, I'm from Cleveland Avenue and didn't really come outside of my community. First time I got on a plane was to go to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And you go from, well, you know, your communities and stuff like that, you know, in Cleveland, right there in ATL. And then went to New York where everything was like, I just called it a concrete jungle. I used to call it concrete jungle because we stayed in Manhattan and it was nothing but buildings and lights.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was like a bunch of yellow cabs. I ain't never seen yellow cabs in my, you know, I never seen it. So it just like, man, you know, everything was more fast paced too. You know, you coming from the South, you know, we have, you know, we have like our mannerisms are totally different too. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I say thank you, or, you know, I opened up the door. I remember I opened the door for somebody and they looked at me like, hey, what's your angle?
Yeah.
What's up with you? You know what I'm saying?
They think you about to try to rob
you were trying to get them, you know what I mean? I was like, nah, you make me think about it, but nah, I just kidding. But nah, I like, it was just one of those things where it was just like, man, you know, I was raised, you know, Southern hospitality.
Yeah.
And it was totally different there.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna hold you, you know, with things moving fast, you know, it was like you can make money faster there too. You know what I'm saying? Like once you find your niche, when they say, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, that's the God honest truth.
So I want to go back to what you was talking about earlier about you, Puffy picking you to be the leader of the group.
Yeah.
Did that rub any of the other members the wrong way?
Yeah.
And I know that's a big thing that's going on now that it's back out that Puffy said that. So how's that affecting everybody today now that it's kind of, because it seems like it just came back out again, that he's the one that said that.
Oh, yeah, because Mike said it. Mike went in and said he told the truth.
Yep.
Like, and, you know, the good part about it is, hey, on the pro side, they're all rich.
Yeah.
Everybody's rich, so they had no problem with it. But, you know,
but during
at the same
that time, what was the effect like then?
Well, when you have 4 lead singers in a group, you know what I'm saying?
Because everybody,
and you know, and we really never said who was a lead singer, but you know, of course, people's demeanor and you know, and I had to say it, egos would make it the way. Yeah, you know, they felt the way. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, I guess it helped, you know, musically, because if you listen to the albums, if you really listen to the album, you saw everybody had their shine. You know what I'm saying? You cannot hide anybody's talent. In 112, there's no weak link. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but that being said, my voice, as far as the singles were concerned, because everybody around the world, for example, radio and everybody around the world, they were listening for that particular sound, that voice. And that determined what made us stand out before. And you know what I'm saying? And we had a lot of number ones and top 10s and 5s.
That's fine. So even at that time, you know, a lot of people didn't know y'all was from Atlanta. Everybody thought y'all was from New York.
We still are trying to explain it.
What you think could have been done differently then, marketing wise, to let people know y'all was from Atlanta?
No, it was supposed to work that way because, you know, that's what made 112 better, I say more different than other groups or whatever. We straight from ATL, you know what I'm saying? Born and raised, right? But it's one thing to be number one in your community. When we came out, 112, this is how our situation was. When we were Forte, we never lost a talent show. We were always known to be the best. If you saw us, that's what it was. So number one in your community. Then when you come out, now you're number one, you know, because when Silk came out, they came out way before us. So by the time we came out, you know what I'm saying, now we're in a different division, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're like our boys to men, by the way. We have so much respect for them. But, you know, now we're number one at the time, you know what I'm saying, in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? But to then go to New York and completely take over, and you know what I'm saying? And now you have a whole East Coast claiming us as being a part of them, you know what I'm saying, of New York, in which we have that same kindred spirit too with them. You know what I'm saying? You name me a group that does that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes 112 so special. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, we're able to, wherever we are, we're able to establish our fingerprints.
So I wanted to ask you this. When Puffy first got y'all together, he had y'all wearing baggy clothes, the Timberlands. Did you think you were betraying your Atlanta roots when y'all was
man,
doing that?
because let me tell you something straight up. First off, we was wearing Air Force Ones. Go back and look at the Kissing You remix.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When we were out there in the you know what I'm saying, in out there in the park, right? And you know, yeah, cats was wearing Timbs and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? The New York cats, you know what I'm saying? But we were still rocking Air Force Ones. Matter of fact, we was rocking shoes and we start having people start copying our style.
I got you.
So you already know, you know what I'm saying?
So y'all brought it today.
But I mean, especially they were wearing jerseys and stuff like that, and the headbands and stuff. Because we're not gonna forget that Outkast had a straight up, you know what I'm saying, jersey spot right down in Buckhead.
Yeah, and
I'm straight ATL.
And
know,
people forget that we did try to be like a little New Yorkers at one time.
I mean, because at the time, you know what I'm saying, let's not give New York. New York was definitely doing that thing.
Yeah, they was.
And we talk about we could talk about the early 80s. Like, look, I got on a 8-ball jacket. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? They were rocking the Adidas with the Fat Boy, you know what I'm saying, t-shirt, you know what I'm saying, shoestrings, right? Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? That was like in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? When it was Down by Law and Straight Cat stuff. When we were
Down by Law, baby.
Hey, so now when it's time for the ATL, we did our thing, you know what I'm saying? We just did it with a different thing, you know what I'm saying? We had our own different type of style, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, of course, yes, you know, cultures transcend, but then, you know, just like Andre 3000 said, you know, South got something to say.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. So check this out. What was it like working with a legend like Puff?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, you know, the great thing about it, the real good thing about it, he allowed us to be us. So like with us, we were very self-contained. Big shout outs to the management that was with us at the time, you know what I'm saying? So we talking about Bear and Greg Brown and, you know, they, you know, they taught us to be very self-contained. So we were writing and producing our own records. We didn't really have to depend on anyone else. But that was the great part with Puff. He made it accessible to us. He never babysitted us. He always sat us in the studio and was like,
he trusted y'all.
Do y'all thing. And then now he would pull up. And if it's not in the, you know what I'm saying, went in the right direction, he'll let us know. You know what I'm saying? Now to, you know, iron sharpens iron. So we did work with, I never forget when we were like trying to get our sound together. You know, Puff brought in Dave Hollister and he brought in Al B. Sure.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So now we're cutting records and now we're learning from them. So now we already have Tim and Bob, who had already started setting up, was helping us with the sound on this end. Now we're putting the other sounds, intricate sounds, and creating who is 112? What is our musical fingerprint? So this is why I say, like, people, I don't know if people really knew, like, well, 112, there were albums where we recorded in New York, first album. The second album we recorded in Nashville. You know, the second and then the third album
back home.
you know, yeah, and you know, and I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, another reason was because, you know, the crew at the time, they didn't want, you know, where I stayed and, you know what I'm saying, who I was dealing with, they didn't really want me apart, you know what I'm saying? I think they were thinking that I was gonna be not focused. So they didn't want me to be in Atlanta. So
okay. I got
Nashville.
Yeah, they got to get you out your own environment and make it work.
Yeah, because I was one of the first ones to start having kids first and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
I got you.
So you know, at that point, you know, for me, I was trying to, you know, be there as a, you know what I'm saying, as a father and stuff like that. But you know, you trying to mix family and music is kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? So
I got you. So when did you guys realize y'all was cooking? When y'all was down there at Bad Boy, when you realized you had something?
First record. First record. Our first single was Only You.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the blessing of it was that while we were enjoying the grind. Mm-hmm. So when you're putting together the album and you start learning things about yourself that, you know, we were really starting to elevate. It was like, man, you know, I remember we used to walk from Mike's crib, and we used to go to Duran's homeboy Stro, and he stayed right there in Pool Creek. You know what I'm saying? And we would go over there. He was teaching him how to work the MP3, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And we were doing the songs and stuff like that. And it was like, we came from there to being in this $1 million studio.
Yeah.
And now we're putting together stuff. And now we didn't need anybody telling us, okay, this is where you put the note or whatever. We were doing it ourselves. That was the biggest parts of it. So then when Only You was done, which was one of the last songs, you know, it was crazy. Once we put it together, it was just like, wow, for it to sound like this, man, we might be on to something.
Say that was the first spark, huh?
Yeah.
So let me ask you about the peaches and cream. Is it true that a bowl of peach cobbler,
man, that's crazy work,
was the spark?
Hey man, and I'm telling you, bro, man, we wrote about everything. So we on the third album, and you know, it's one of those things where you just like, man, what haven't we said? You know what I'm saying? We done did it anywhere. We done, yeah, Only You. We saying Cupid don't lie.
Cupid
you know what I'm saying? My favorite. We told everybody you can come see me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, look, listen, hey man, what can I, you know what I'm saying? Then we said, what? Oh yeah, it's over now. And then we said, you know what? What can we talk about? All right, man, we got the music playing. Big shout out to Pooh Bear. He was in the building. You know what I'm saying? He's in there with us. And we're in there just trying to like, just figure it out. And then all of a sudden, somebody picked up the phone. I can't even know who. Somebody made an order and they were like, Jackson Hole. And Jackson Hole is a spot in New York. That, you know what I'm saying, was like the closest thing to ATL, you know what I'm saying, with barbecue, burgers, stuff like that, wings. And it was a soul food spot. They were like, yo, we heard her say something out. Yeah, I get that peach cobbler. It just seemed like everybody did like that.
That was it.
Peach. Peach. ATL. Peach. ATL peach. You know, we know we talking about. All right, damn, we talking about. Man, you know, we want to talk crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all was masking it behind.
Yeah, you feel me? So
we know what the hell y'all was talking about.
Know it. Hey, now, which cost us some millions because we were we about to get this lifesaver deal.
Oh,
God dang it, man! The little girl starts singing the bridge. I blame Mike. He wrote that bridge. Listen, man, hey, man, and the little girl sang the part. Yeah. What song is that? Peaches and cream. What you mean, peaches and cream? Man, they called us.
Lifesaver was like, man, we can't be associated with these.
Hey, man, you know.
That's
so
crazy.
It was crazy, man, but yeah, man.
Talking about eating that thing, man.
Hey, man.
And ruin the good deal. Look, I know what y'all talking about. That's one of my favorite things. That's that peaches and cream, man. That's my go-to with a woman.
Hey, man.
So take me through making Cupid.
Oh, man. So Cupid was crazy, too. So big shout out to Arnold Hennings. You know what I'm saying? He's a producer. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, he's the other producer that produced Cupid.
Okay.
So walked into the studio, heard the track, had a whole bunch of sounds on it. So, man, start turning the sounds down. We were like, man, I want this sound right here. It kept turning all the stuff, and then all of a sudden, took all the sounds down, and all you heard was,
oh yeah.
Then all of a sudden now, shoot, you know, Duran, he was like, man, he just started playing, and what came to his head. And I ain't gonna hold you, like when we all get together, everybody has something that helps them with their writing or whatever. And at the time, I was going through a whole bunch of stuff, at the time, my baby mother, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to, cause I'm out and, she pregnant at the time, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to do nice stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm not send flowers or whatever, but you did that, first thing she said was, what you doing?
Yeah, what hell for you?
What you doing? What you, the hell, I'm like, what? So when you coming up with a record, you know what I'm saying? And we talking about this was easy. Man, when I told you I trust you, that don't mean I don't cheat on you, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was one of those things. I'm pretty sure everybody had their energies or whatever, but that's where mine was coming from.
Okay. Okay. That's my favorite song y'all ever did.
Man, I appreciate it.
I love that.
That's just crazy. So something that was kind of like an argument, and what I would say, it was like an argument, end up being one of the greatest love songs.
Yeah, I play that thing in the Beauty Central every day with that beat in it. Things be beating in the Beauty Central. I was going through it with a couple of my helpers at the time.
He said a couple.
What does it mean?
That's that AU stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you play basketball, you know what I'm saying? You had the choices. You know what I'm saying?
Man. I was going through it.
Yeah.
Going back to when you was in South Atlanta, AKA George.
Already, Orange and Black, baby.
What was y'all go-to song at the talent show?
Man, our go-to was, when it was Forte, was Take 6. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Now, I'm going to tell you something right there, because first off, people didn't understand. We had to be real good with our harmonies because we were too broke to pay for, you know what I'm saying, any type of music, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You had to go, we used to go down to the underground. They had that little box where, you could sing into they would make your music. You know what I'm saying? And you could sing in there, we were trying to come up with monies to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That didn't come out too well. So we just said, you know what? We need to get our harmonies together. So we would get behind the piano, and you know what I'm saying? And we would get the harmonies and stuff all together or whatever. That's who we listened to. We for the most part, listened to Take 6 and Commission, gospel groups, And for me, that was great because, I wasn't able to listen to no secular music. So really, all my craziness of listening to secular, I got to blame 112 on that because,
I was just about to say, so if you weren't able to listen to any of that music, how was y'all able to come up with the ideas to even do the? You gotta go to Mike's grandma's house for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, Mike's grandma. So you could listen to it, just not within your house. You would sneak out and listen.
You better. I still switches, man. Switches.
Okay. She go out there and tell you to pick a switch.
You pick that and braid it up, and then throw it in the bathtub.
God damn.
Oh yeah. You feel. Yeah. Okay, so yeah.
So check this out. One of you guys' biggest hit was written by Wanye from Boys and Men, right?
Yep. Well, two of them.
Okay, so take me back to the one. Let's go back to Now and Then.
Now that we're done.
Now that we're done, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So what's crazy about that is I ain't know. See, now listening to Sean, I ain't know that he was one supposed to give the record away. You know what I'm saying? But see, when we were trying to get signed to Dallas Austin. So we got to let y'all understand that. Like our first move was to get signed by Dallas Austin. And, we was like, we gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? And so Dallas would allow us to have one of the rooms where we would practice. And we would practice our stuff, the harmonies and stuff like that. And then they were actually, Tim and Bob was actually working at the studio too. And they were working on Boyz II Men's second album, 2.
Okay.
And while we were practicing, man, Wanye and Sean would come over to our rehearsal, like come in our room and watch us. And Wanye was going crazy, right? Wanye was like, man, he boy bad. These boys, they the only one group that could probably sing our songs. Then all of a sudden, he started saying, you know what? Hey, let me. So he come up with Now That We're Done. And I'm pretty sure, being in a group, you got to ask somebody now. You know what I'm saying? He can't just go crazy, you know what I'm saying, just by himself. So I think he went to Sean and he probably told him, like, hey, man, these songs right here, man, you know what I'm saying? And Sean probably like, man, we working on our project. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, I'm glad that both of them allowed us to, you know what I'm saying, like really try and do this. You know what I'm saying? And Sean and Wanye don't understand what they did to my personal.
I hear you keep saying Sean, and I know who you talking about by Sean, but you need to let the people know.
Okay, Sean Stockman. I'm talking about Sean Stockman of Boys to Men. You know what I'm saying? Which they called him Slim too, but it's Sean Stockman of Boys to Men.
Because a lot of people think you'd be talking about Sean Garrett or some other people.
Oh, no. Sean Garrett, that was a long time. Yeah, that was a long time later. Yeah. So Sean Stockman of Boys to Men, Wanye, I'm so glad that they allowed us to, do those two songs, and we worked with Tim and Bob, and my confidence level became amazing after that, because you're literally listening to the guys that you looked up to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And these are the guys that we're getting into where we at, and now they're teaching us and we putting the song together.
Yeah.
Yo, man, that was amazing.
Yeah. So what's your favorite 112 album, and tell me why?
Favorite one?
Mm-hmm.
That's hard.
It ain't supposed to be. I know all of them your babies and shit.
Yeah, but oh man,
we're gonna put
if I would say, I would probably say I'm gonna say the second album. Why? Because after the first album, we had the biggest debut situation. We had all this great, the album goes double or triple platinum or something like that. Then the third single is Cupid, and then that goes triple platinum. See, those situations, that was, that was amazing, right? But then people were saying that we couldn't do it again.
Gotcha.
So now everybody used to talk about what they call the sophomore jinx.
Yeah.
And we were like, man, no, So what we did was we were like, hey, we really had to get in our bag, you know what I'm saying? And instead of going to New York, we went to Nashville.
Gotcha.
And we really started, you know what I'm saying, honing our skills and finding out who we were as writers and, you know what I'm saying, producers and, you know what I'm saying, vocal arrangers. And that's why when you hear how Anywhere sounded, it don't sound like anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like you got these records that we had, and you listen to the whole album. We took pride in making a whole album. Once you hit play,
yeah, you can let it go all the way through.
You gotta let it go all the way through.
No skips.
No skips. And our interludes were very purposefully done.
So did you have any doubts or any thoughts about that sophomore jinx?
No, you can't. No. Now, what was crazy was of how people were just openly talking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just like
around y'all, like
it was like, dang.
Yeah, like
man,
don't you see that we're right here
you know
in the room?
Like, can you imagine you play basketball? Can you just imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like you now they teaching you the plays, and then all of a sudden you got the coaches and stuff. They sitting right next to you, and they were like,
yeah, I really don't believe
it. He really ain't.
And there's coaches like that. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? I want to quit right now. You know what I'm saying? But
if you can't, you know what I'm saying?
If you ain't headstrong, So that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one good thing about being in a group. When you thinking we, us, and our, and not only do I have confidence in myself, I got confidence in the man to the left or the right of me. You know what I'm saying?
And then if one of them don't, the other one pick
him up, and we gonna ride with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a team.
It is what it do.
So check this out. Everybody has come. A lot of people have come on these orange sofas and told us their truths. Mm-hmm. So you got to tell us the truth, man. What was the reason why the group broke
up? Which time?
We're going to start with the first time. The first one that broke everybody's heart.
Holy shit. Well,
it ain't supposed to be easy here.
How can I say this? Well, let's just say cats start, as you start getting older, and you know what I'm saying, people start getting their own entourages and their own people. You start talking in people's ears. You know what I'm saying? Man, you don't need that person right here. You're more talented than this person right here. man, you did all this right here. You did this. They need you. You don't need them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what I'm saying? I can speak from personal experience. You know what I'm saying? Did I hear those type of words all the damn time?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's just not the cloth I was, you know what I mean? So if I come in away, I'm going to see it all the way through.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And if I, you know what I'm saying? I'm a person that stands on principles and codes. So that it is what it is. But there were people that don't. And, you know what I'm saying? They were more weak. And so they started doing certain things that, you know, that had nothing to do with we, us, and our. That was a particular time where, you know, we were at a show overseas, and there's something about, you know, alcohol and you know, says truth juice.
Gotcha.
And they were all speaking together.
Come on, you got to tell us who was speaking now.
It ain't but 4 people. I'm the only person that don't drink.
Okay.
All right. So, you know what I'm saying? That being said, you know what I'm saying? I heard it and I said, okay, you know what? I agree with you.
So what did they say?
You believe, I think that, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm overrated. I think you can do, you know what I'm saying? You don't need me. You got it.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? There were some other things that happened too. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you look at the history, I was delusional. I ain't gonna hold you. I got a phone call, you know, one of the members was on a radio station talking about, I don't want to talk about 112. It's about me, whatever. I got my own project. I was like, hey, let him do it. Let him, you know what I'm saying? Let him be a man. Let him do it.
Let him see what
you know
he can do.
What he can do.
Let him see what he do by himself.
Well, we can look at the history and, you know what I'm saying? I'm probably the most successful solo person, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. So Fly goes double platinum. Album, you know what I'm saying? I have my own label, you know what I'm saying? It is what, you know, So Fly, whatever. And Good Loving. So that's great. So then I was in Bell Harbor, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing, you know what I'm saying, drop top, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know,
living life
on the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Start getting phone calls, man, you know, we need to put this thing back together. You know what I'm saying, man, you know. And then there were certain people that said I was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you living like this, you good. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I'm done.
About
I was
brothers.
done. But then once you start thinking about it, I'm built that way. It, you know, and my thing wasn't, it wasn't even them. It was the people in the back. It was the people behind the scenes who I cared about. So that was a meeting with my team. You know what I'm saying? My team, they actually, Greg, I'm gonna call him out. Greg Browning, you know what I'm saying, which is my partner. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And we got all other type of stuff going on, you know, Airbnbs, you know, tell you about the pop-up shop, you know what I'm saying? We got all kind of stuff going. But he's also, you know, part of M3. And he was like, hey man, you know, one of the biggest cheerleaders of 112, they all sat me down. They were like, hey man, I know you doing good and all this stuff, but man, it's a legacy. Don't you got some things that you want to do? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. And I said, dang, you know, I don't have to star on the Walk of Fame. And I'm not inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So now
we got some more work we can do.
You know what I'm saying? So I got back, you know what I'm saying? That was a crazy situation. You know, you had 4 guys, 4 different managers. Everybody's not in the same, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's not on the same.
Telling them something different.
And, you know, then, you know, same food. There were certain promises that were made that were, no, I'll never do the same thing like we were. Man, I won't be the person to break up the group. I won't do this, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Shit happened all over again.
All over again, but worse.
And
you know what I'm saying? 2 individuals that left. One, they tried. It's one thing of saying, hey, I don't want to be a part of it. Because like, when I look at somebody, I look at I look at what you do while you're in the group. So there was a situation where, you know, when one of the individuals missed almost 30 shows or, you know, not prioritizing the group or, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to think too, your actions also affect the other people that's in here. You know what I'm saying? And that just wasn't respectful. You know what I'm saying? And on the way out, you know, it just got really crazy where the accusations of money's missing and all this stuff or whatever. And then, you know, what broke my heart was because what I did was I tried to sit back and see, was what they were saying true or what is this? But the stuff y'all don't see in y'all see, oh man, the group or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Brothers. Yeah. But I have a definition of brothers. Behind the scenes, you start seeing that when it start going to court and there are real paperwork, you know what I'm saying? Well, there was an individual or their friend who literally signed the affidavit and told on him and said that, hey, you're lying on this man. You're lying on Greg. You're lying on my partner.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that. And he admitted and then said, well, we'll get him on something. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it just started getting crazier and crazier. And then, you know, so, you know what? At the end of the day, things happen, you know. One thing about what Forte, right? I never forget, you know, we sat there, we watched the 5 heartbeats. We all sat there at Mike's grandma and we watched the 5 heartbeats. And I remember there were parts in that movie where we were looking at each other saying,
that'll never happen to us.
Never happened to us. I love you.
That shit go just like that.
And now, you know what I'm saying? So it's deeper than what y'all see. It's deeper than just us being on the TV and on the stage smiling and all that. You know what I'm saying? We're real life people. We have families and you know what I'm saying? And I'm supposed to love your family, your kid, the same way you should love mine as I love my own. You know what I'm saying? And if it's not like that,
it ain't gonna stick together.
I'm a real type individual. If it's not like that, it's not that it is what it is. You can't slick talk and use a PR, you know what I'm saying, to try to say, hey man, you know, we just grew apart. No. Accountability for anything to even heal itself, you have to first be accountable. And there are things but behind the scenes, like even right now, this same person is in court trying to figure out how to pay cats back for lying. You can't bring somebody in court and then, you know what I'm saying, and you're the plaintiff and they're the defendant, and you know what I'm saying, and then that, hey man, when you lose, you gotta pay. This person it's been years and this person they ain't paid the monies. Oh, so you know what I'm saying? So you can't talk to me about, you know what I'm saying? Like certain things are moral. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to do any business with you again. I don't have to do no business. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I can respect you as a man if, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you step up and do the right thing.
And guess what? When you're wrong, be loud in your right as you were in your wrong. So if I accuse you of something, and that's just me, if I was in their shoes and I accused you of something globally, my apology is going to be just as loud.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And, you know, but God bless, because we are still here. 30 years, we travel around the world and we are celebrating our 30-year anniversary, sold out. You know what I'm saying? 112 moves and 112 forever.
So I was going to ask you this, which a lot of that you kind of already answered, but I still going to ask you. So why you and Mike was the only ones at the Verzuz?
Because
that same.
They had already left the group. I can't make.
So did y'all at least give them an invitation to come?
So you play AAU basketball, right?
Yeah. You
had anybody that quit the team?
Yeah, we have.
So when you go to the championship, did you invite them to come back?
No. I'm not mad with that. You right.
God, man, I'm just trying to keep it straight.
I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
Man, hey man.
I'm with you.
Shit. Hey man, listen. If you worked hard, so just imagine you are running your plays, and some of these plays goes through those people. Now, it's one thing if you have just a disagreement or whatever, but listen what I just told you. When you find out behind the scenes that it was purposely done, now you're looking at it as, you know, not only are we going to run these plays, we're going to run, hey man, when I set that pick going to mean something. You feel me? Hey, if I cross you over, you know what I'm saying? When I shoot that 3, when I'm gonna look at that 3. I'm gonna enjoy that 3 goes.
I got you.
You feel me?
I got you.
Okay, so
it hit a little different.
So that's how. So as time goes, you know what I'm saying. It's one thing about the brand. You know what I'm saying. The brand. We have the rule. No man bigger than the brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying. And if you do it right, that brand, your legacy lasts forever.
No doubt. I'm with you on that.
It is what it is.
So, well, a lot of this stuff is rhetorical. I'm still going to ask him though. So what's your relationship now with the group members?
Man, me and Mike, we cousins and brothers.
Yeah, so y'all going to be cool.
Well, I mean, listen. Okay,
y'all we already said y'all was the closest from the beginning.
When you look at Mike, right,
mm-hmm.
you see the 112 tattoos in his neck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's my loyalty. And you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Everything that I've invested into it. You know, everybody know, I mean, I own all the trademarks, all the rights and everything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I did my due diligence and I learned from the people that were, you know, before us that used to own it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you speak to the CEOs and you speak to the people that, you know, how were you able to do this? What were you supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for us, it's like, if I ever say I have a lot of aspirations and stuff. Mm-hmm. For me, but for me, team means everything. Mm-hmm. I can't be a boss if my squad is not living too. Mm-hmm. If I look back and all of us, we all shining, we doing it, our families. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at everybody's wives, their kids, and everybody's doing great. That's where my happiness is. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
So I'm going to always be great. You know
I'm with you on that. I'm with you 1,000% on that. I want to ask you this. Looking at R&B groups now, do you think that R&B groups are dead or dying off, or you think it's over with?
That's the whole thing. Everybody's thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
So everybody, the first thing, you think about it, man. You know, I know it sounds like a little wild. You know, it's just like you coming in and they got this amount of money. And you got to chop that bad boy so many people. Four, 5 different people. You know what I'm saying?
Always one check.
But let me tell you something, man. You know, I look at New Edition. That is the all-time greatest group.
Yes.
My eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
So when you look at the situation, the blueprint is right there. You know what I'm saying? There were entities inside of entities.
Yep. And all of them went platinum.
All of them went platinum or greater. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, and at the end of the day, your mindset have to be that way.
Yep. And now, they're all able to come back together.
They're all
and do their thing.
And they do their thing. Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things where, you know, and I ask different individuals, you know what I'm saying? Because like with me, I understand the industry, how the industry is. And a lot of it is fake. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, you can go out there, you know, you don't have to like each other to, you know, to be on the stage. And I understand that. And that's what I did in 2012. When I came back, first 2 years, I didn't even speak to him. I just got on the stage. And, you know, you saw me on stage and I smiled. It was a job. Mm-hmm. Once you cross again, then, you know what I'm saying, that's like, first time, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? The second time, shame. For me, it was the third time. You know what I'm saying? Lord have mercy at this point, you know. But I do respect groups that do have that mindset. And, you know, and I always wanted that. I always do. That's the reason why I go so hard for my brother cousin. You know what I'm saying? And I go hard for the brand. And for the most part, it's for the fans, because if cats just left it up to their own egos or whatever, I could have left that junk in 2008 when you know what I'm saying? So I made 8 figures by myself.
So speaking of the fans, do you think the fans ever get a 112 album again with everybody?
Well, 112 is who's in the building. Can you go?
You know where I'm going with it, man. If we corporate, if you work I got
for Walmart,
what you're saying business-wise.
You know what I'm saying? Once you quit, do you think that you think you could just go back up there and say, man, I still want the same 401k. I want to go to the same conventions. I can't. Well,
so check it out.
And that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna ask you this because I always get this from Bear. Bear always pleading for all four to get back together.
And you know, I love Bear. I personally, let me tell you something. No, no more. The respect level that I have for Bear is
I already know.
endless. You know what I'm saying?
He want all y'all to get all back together.
But I had to tell, he knows the things that behind the scenes too.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. He was lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Even he talks about the time when he got fired.
Mm-hmm.
He felt embarrassed, and you know what I'm saying? And but he took that energy and he created the whole situation with Purple Ribbon, and you know what I'm saying? Look at him over there. He's balling. Now he's over there. I literally was watching a movie. I saw him and Killer Mike sitting in the movie that I'm looking at. I'm like,
yeah, they're
look
doing
at this.
well. They're doing well.
You know what I'm saying? His success is not driven by 112.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or any other people.
I feel like he talks like you talk of a brotherhood. Like he loves seeing that brotherhood.
Yes,
just like you used to.
Because he's holding on to what used to be.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I was taught that what I thought was brotherhood is not that. So, and we have to keep it real with ourselves.
No,
you know
do.
What I'm saying?
My dad's always say you got to make peace with your reality.
I seen Bear recently. You know what I'm saying? My brotherhood with Bear is still there because he's never crossed me. Now, he's pissed me off and I've pissed him off. That's family. You know what I'm saying? But we still brothers. You know what I'm saying? But that's a different type of somebody crossed you.
I got you.
And everybody got a red line.
Well, we're gonna get up off that. We're gonna move on to something else.
Oh yeah.
Let's move on to you had a hellified solo run.
Yes, sir.
So you had a song with Young Jock, So Fly.
Yeah.
How did that song come about?
Oh man. So big shout out to boys, Odds and Ends in Orlando. So went down there and I met up with this cat at the time. You know what I'm saying? I think he was like intern for a radio station. You know what I'm saying? Ricky Padilla. And he was like, hey, I know these producers that they're real good. You know what I'm saying? One of them work here. And you know what I'm saying? 102 Jams, it was in Orlando. And he was like, hey man, you probably need to rock with them. And they cool with DJ Nasty and We the Best and all them, right? So I was like, all right. So got with him, hooked up, you know what I'm saying? Went to the studio and it was instant. So I'm trying to figure out what the sound was going to be. And I just wanted something totally different. I wanted to still have the same feels as what I'm used to, but at the same time, who is Slim? Right? So when they were playing the R&B stuff, I was like, yeah, but that might be a little too sappy. Yeah, but that, you know what I'm saying? They ain't saying what I want to say. And then all of a sudden I was like, man, this is for the track. So they went into the hip hop side. I never forget, had Currency on there. And I was like, man, I like Currency. You know what I'm saying? Let me hear his beats. And the first beat, man, I was like,
yeah,
that's it. Right? So we about to go to the club. We in there, we just coming up with words and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because we about to go to the club.
Yeah.
So that's what was on my mind. Just stepped out, fresh out the shower. Gotta stay fresh, take about an hour. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, hey, we so fly. We going to the club. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how the song came up. It came out real fast, right? So I didn't do but one verse. But I did have another record. I did a record with Gucci Man called You Won. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Pooh Bear. You know what I'm saying? We had wrote the record, right? So I was about to go with that record. It was hard. I had flipped Fuck Them Other Niggas.
Yeah.
So I went to this DJ. They would listen to the DJ. It was like DJs was all together. So I always talk about DJs make the world go round. So that my relationship with all DJs is off the chain. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, I said I'm gonna play this record. So I had this little compilation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I had that record, but then I said, man, you know what? Last record I put on So Fly, I didn't have but the first verse and the hook. Man, I played the record. Gucci Man popping, you know what I'm saying? So I think they were giving me more love because Gucci Man, you know what I'm saying? And the beat was hard. I ain't gonna hold you. The beat was hard, and then the hook was hard too. But it was just like, but it was Gucci Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I because I love Gucci Man too. So you know what I'm saying? But I was like, however I'm gonna get there,
Yeah.
But then, you know what I'm saying? So, but I was like, dang, man, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if the record, you know what I'm saying?
It was big enough.
But then as we went out, the third record was So Fly.
Yeah.
Time that mug came on,
they said that was it.
It got quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was a interesting, quiet. Everybody, as soon as that mug went off, man, I never forget, man. What's called DJs would come sitting up to me. Big shout out to Tony Neal.
Mm-hmm.
Sat next to me and said, hey, that's your motherfucking record right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I brought it to my team, and my team was saying, hey, you need to go back to Orlando and finish that record.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had already been talking to Jock, right? I told Jock, well, every time I see him, I'm going to find the record. And when I find the record, I'm going to work with you. Jock was like, all right. He thought it was an industry talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, as soon as I got that record, I finished it. I drove from Orlando. His engineer is the one, you want to know how I found you, Jock? Your engineer told on you. But you know what I'm saying? Hey, the engineer said, hey, Jock up in here right now. It was 6 o'clock in the morning.
Pulled up on him.
I pulled right up on him. He was trying to get up. I said, nah.
You got to put a verse on
this.
Hey,
man, he said, you got the record now? I just came back.
Yeah.
Man, but when he heard it, he said, oh no.
He got energized.
He got right back in the booth and he dropped that mug. You know what I'm saying? And so, jumped that mug. And then the other one, rest in peace, my boy Shawty Low.
Yeah.
Shawty Low calls me out of nowhere and was like, hey, man, I put a verse on your joint, man. Hey, man, just listen to it. Don't take me off, though. I'm over here talking about, how'd you get my phone?
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? Man, as many people as I had asked, I personally asked some cats that I'm very cool with to get on the record.
They did.
And they just didn't. Whether they had stuff to do or, you know what I'm saying, or they just, I don't know. They just weren't feeling it. I don't know. But for L.O. to have did that right there, and I didn't meet him till later.
Yeah.
Then he told me, pull up. That man was right around the corner from me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, man, this here is crazy work. But you know what? Hey, man.
You're a very spiritual, religious man, so you know what that is.
You know what I'm saying? That was God right there.
Yeah,
that was God
working.
Man, that's crazy.
So tell us about the time you and your label mates Total pushed up on Wendy Williams.
So first off, Wendy, if y'all know behind the scenes, she's cool as all get. I'm just, you know, but at the time, you know what I'm saying, you know, people were very invested in their jobs. So, you know, I could imagine how Total felt when she said what she said or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they handled it, you know what I'm saying, how they handled it. You know, like this, I remember times where, you know, I remember one, you know, she was so, I would just say, you know, she was one of those people that people didn't even want to go do the interview with her. You know what I'm saying? Because she was popular.
Yeah.
But me, I never had that problem. I never forget, man. I did one interview where I was representing the group. And then, you know, at the time she was like, man, he got 8 baby mamas by 9 different, you know what I'm saying? 9 kids. Hey, man. I was like, man, I got 3.
Look, Wendy gonna try to get them headlines.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we got to laughing and talking. She said, you know what? I'm going to leave you alone. I respect you. Like, I'm going to leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because you never go out your side. But, you know, she don't understand, you know. In the ATL, you know, we got what you call Joning, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know,
you
gonna have, we got tough skin, you know what I'm saying? Especially, you know, from here.
You got to.
So, you know, anybody can say anything about you, you know what I'm saying? But I know my life and I'm very comfortable.
So I wanted to ask you this, man. So, you know, one of my main partners is Kyle from Jagged Edge.
That's my brother.
So, you know, y'all always had a little friendly beef, man.
Well, it wasn't beef.
Little friendly beef.
Jagged didn't understand. Yeah, we didn't tell them of what we was trying to do. But then once they found out, you know what I'm saying, they were like, oh man, y'all should have told us. But you know, people gotta understand, you know what I'm saying, with 112 and Jagged Edge, like, first off, we were brothers before the deal. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So asking if somebody told me that any of them 4 guys, especially Brandon and Brian, would say that 112 was bigger than Jagged Edge, I would check your temperature and tell you you're lying. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna call them and say, are you okay? You know what I'm saying? Because I know how they rock. You know what I'm saying? Like they the shit in their world. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And if I'm not talking about 112, because I say I'm the shit, but if I'm not talking about 112, I defend Jagged. And I guarantee you, Jagged Edge would defend 112.
I believe that.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what type of a relationship we have. And, you know, and our city, Atlanta, especially in the 90s, you know, we all stick together. So 100%. It's just like, we don't have that whole, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we're going to kill each other.
We're going to see it.
Yeah,
nah,
we don't.
We don't, you know what I mean?
Everybody know everybody here.
Everybody know, you know what I'm saying? And we said Kyle, you know, me and Kyle hung out the most.
Yeah.
Me and Kyle got stories by ourselves. Yeah. And there were times where, you know, if he was a little inebriated, I know he's way better now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a lot better. He's a lot better.
That was a time, you know what I'm saying? Man, both of us had the X5s at one time. You know what I'm saying? We just ride our joint. You know what I'm saying? We both bought them. And we rode all the way 285 wide open at one time. You know what I'm saying? Can't believe we didn't get locked up. That was kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like, though, that's our brothers. And that's the good thing about our city. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all represent. Like, if we're not winning or whatever, like, great example, both of us on tour, right?
Yeah.
But we sat back on our first month, Jagged was taking over. They going crazy. And I was so proud of how they looked and their whole setup and everything was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? And then what was crazy was when we first started our joint, I got a text from Brandon. And Brandon was like, man, I'm so proud of y'all, man. They look so absolutely amazing, man. Y'all doing y'all thing. And I, you know, so that's the stuff y'all don't see. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know. It's things that happen where y'all think it is, and then it's the real. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? The real is that, you know, yeah, you can compete. I'm pretty sure you know about basketball. You know what I'm saying? We watched Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas walk right in the middle of on the court, and damn near kissed each other. And in the same joint was brawling. They were fighting each other.
1,000%.
So you know what I'm saying? Same thing with Shaq and you know what I'm saying, Chuck. You know what I'm saying?
No, 1,000%.
You know, but they're really cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a battle.
That's what it is.
Competition.
That's what it is.
Good competition. Iron sharp as iron.
Yes, sir. But I would love it if I could have it any kind of way. If both 112 and Jagged Edge get the Star on the Walk of Fame together. Both 112 and Jagged Edge walk in and get the induction of the, that would be awesome. You know what I'm saying? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That would be amazing because that's how we started and that's how.
Is it true that when y'all was around Biggie and y'all was up in New York, he treated y'all like little brothers?
Like little brothers.
And kept y'all out of all the industry beef?
Man, let me tell you something, man. Hey, man. Big shout out to him, Junior Mafia, man, Lil C's and all of them, and our sis Faith, man. So can you imagine, right? Big was doing his promo, you know what I'm saying, for the Ready to Die. So, you know what I'm saying? So you had Big and Faith, and you know what I'm saying? They both had the Lexus trucks. One had the white one, the other one had the burgundy, right? So it was like 2 and 2, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they riding and they just dropping gems. We just learning. We so young. We just in there just trying to figure it out and just trying to see how we fit in this thing. And Big allowed us to be around him, to see him perform. And you know what I'm saying? I remember one time, man, we was in Philly. We drove to Philly, it's an hour from New York. And he was right before he was about to go on stage. He turned around and looked at me now, mind you, he's 6'4", 400 pounds. And at that time, I was 120 pounds, maybe. He looked down and looked at me and said, hey, you run the crowd. Always run the crowd. Don't let the crowd run you. You hear me? I looked up. Damn. That was a jewel. That's crazy. Yeah. And then he turned around. When he walked up, you just see when the curtains open and you see that big silhouette of him. He walking out and he walked out and the crowd just going crazy. Yeah. And he went. And he just turned on his superpower. You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, And right there,
that had to be something to see.
So that's why when y'all see me on stage or whatever, that's that spirit. I still remember, I still have his spirit with me every time. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, his second album, the song that y'all are on, is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Sky's the Limit.
Yep.
I was about to say, I was like, which one? Because we had 3 songs
on the Sky's the Limit. That was the big one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was like a blessing, you know what I'm saying?
That was, I remember going to Daytona.
Yeah.
It was 2 songs they played the whole time. Yeah. Hypnotized.
Oh, yeah.
And that Sky's the Limit.
Sky's the Limit.
And it had just dropped right before Daytona weekend.
Oh, that's crazy.
Dog, and that's all every car played. And I just specifically remember that memory all the time. Like, damn, man, 112. And that's all you heard on every car.
And it was crazy because, you know, I have that same type of feel in that story where, you know, when our album was about to come out. And I never forget, man. I'm walking down Broadway, you know, and as I was walking down, our album had just dropped. And every car was like blasting our songs.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm like, wow. It's like I'm in New York with this.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, people start recognizing because Only You was out. You know what I'm saying? And they were like, Slim. And they playing different songs on the album. Man, y'all the best, man. Y'all us.
Yeah.
And when I looked at that, I was like, man, y'all us. I was like, man, I don't know what we created, but whatever we created, everybody can relate to us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So as me standing by myself, like standing just looking at myself, if you look at my life, when I grew up, I wasn't the popularist. I wasn't, like I said, I was the shortest. I wasn't the fastest. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody walked past me, they didn't know who, you know. But now I'm in New York City.
And you the man.
And I'm the man. And they're playing, you're walking down and strangers and they just, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, this 112 thing, man. You can't tell me this ain't God. You can't tell me that this wasn't supposed to happen. So I don't question anything. And if you ask me, would I change anything? Hell no. Because whatever happened made me the person I am right now. You know what I'm saying? And my principle, my codes and morals still the same. They never change.
So speaking of that, not to go on a somber note, but how did it feel losing Big at such a young age like that too?
Yeah. Now, that was hard. You know what I'm saying? For us, it was hard because it was like every time we was around him, he treated us as family. You know what I'm saying? We were around him a lot. You know what I mean? And the things that people didn't know, y'all listening to the album and, you know what I'm saying, his words and stuff, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? That was a part of him.
Yeah.
But the relationship we had and the things we saw in his characteristics, he would give you the shirt off his back. And he was like, really like silly. Like he never took himself serious. Like it was just crazy. Like, you know, he was just, he had a amazing humor. You know what I'm saying? Like I never forget, man, we had this North versus South thing, you know what I'm saying? Every time we would come up in the studio and we used to get to wrestling. We try to grab one of them, you know what I'm saying? And of course, they outnumbered us, but we just like that. It was just one of them things. But you know how guys, we like to whoop up, whatever. And the fact that the whole thing about it was just like, man, it was always a family. Like it was just always a family. So it was like now that whole entity was taken away. All of Bad Boy was created around his demeanor. Yeah,
it was.
You know what I'm saying? Everything. And then look how many times he put us in his songs.
So was it, speaking of songs, was it hard singing Missing You because y'all was so close to him? I know that had to be a rough experience.
It was, for us, it was, because like I said, everybody has their own relationship with him. But with us and him, we always saw this good side of him where he was just always how he is. He was dedicated in what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? He always thought about family. We had a show in Chicago, and he made the program director put us in with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, no, that's my family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all perform together.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like, for somebody like that, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so when you sing, even now, when we sing Missing You, it's different.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I want to ask you, what did the impact of Shakur have on your career, and what did it mean losing him?
Oh, here we go. Okay. So this is personal.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So Shakur was the person that spoke for me to have my own imprint label.
Mm-hmm.
So we had an amazing conversation. Like when we were doing the 5th album, there were some conversations had. And then he told me, he said, hey, I'm letting you know there's some powers that be, you know what I'm saying? You're probably going to go solo. Now, I didn't want to hear that then. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm always team.
Mm-hmm. I got you.
So after everything happened, and, you know, I was in a depression. You know what I'm saying? I was like, dang, man, this is crazy, you know? And he would call me up there. He was at Hitco. And he would always tell me, come up to the studio, and we would have some of the most funnest things, you know, because they were like groups and acts that would just come in every day. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, some of those cats, you know, you have some talent, some real good talent, and then you have some not so talented people, you know what I'm saying? You know, you have some real characters, you know what I mean? And he will always call me every day and be like, come up here, man, man, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then he was the one that encouraged me to start the first mixtape that I did. And that was a big shout out to drummer and DJ Cannon. And, you know, and then that's when he started saying, he was like, man, when I started coming up with all the records, a lot of the records I started coming up with as I was around him. And he was like, hey, you know, these records sound hot. He originally tried to have me to sign to him, to Def Jam. He was telling me he was going to be the vice president or president. He was like the man, whatever. But so I said, no, I want to do my own thing. This man literally made the phone call, called somebody else. I can't think of his name. He called somebody else, and he was like, you're spoken for. All I need you to do is when you play these records, and you know what I'm saying, and this was going to happen. And he helped me get my imprint situation.
Gotcha.
So both of us we're hardcore Raider fans. I know he's from Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Man, you know, so we were always on the phone. Always when my first solo project came out, he was on the plane. He had a connection to go somewhere. I don't know where he was going. Do you know that man sat? I was trying to like turn in all the stuff. I called him. He didn't get on the connection flight. He sat right there with me and helped me close out all of my business on the project. Mm. And then when everything started, you know, being, you know, successful, it went to top. I had a top 5 record. You know what I'm saying? Then he called and he was like, "Hey man, you know, I'm so proud of you. I knew you. You know what I'm saying? Like we all knew this was supposed to happen. You waited a long time, but
you finally here.
You finally here." Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, I really appreciate it. So he always believed in me. So, you know,
I'm glad you was able to tell that about him.
Yeah, he was, you know, so when he left, like right before he was like, man, what he always was talking about the next level.
Yeah.
I see M3 being Def Jam or Imprint. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you, and he was saying he was going to help me. And
left. So let me ask you, how important was Tim and Bob to your success?
Here we go again. That same thing. 112 wouldn't have a sound without them. Mm-hmm. They believed in us when we were in high school. You know what I'm saying? And you know, originally we were supposed to sign to them. We were about to be signed to them. And, you know, they really put in the work. And even when we went to New York, they didn't give up on us. Even when the budget wasn't what it was supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, at the time. And, you know, they didn't give up on us. And, you know, like forever brothers, you know what I mean? I talk to Tim all the time, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, I'm like forever grateful for these guys and, you know us without them.
So how's your mental health been since the passing of your father and he was instrumental in your life?
Well, the good thing about, you know, my dad, you know, I learned how to be a provider.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like one thing, like if I, you know, my dad had a bunch of jobs, you know, like he was at East Point Police Department, you know what I'm saying? He was this man was, you know, everybody knew him as Chip, you know what I'm saying? I know he's infamous, so all street cats know what I'm saying? Hey, yep, that's my dad. You know what I'm saying? So he was part of the Cobra unit, so y'all know what time that is.
Yeah, I definitely know what time that is.
He was also the probation officer. He was also the probation officer.
Yeah.
And they called him Chip because he was on Washington Road on the bikes. You know what I'm saying? And if you were going down Washington Road, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know who Chip was.
Yeah,
you know
the old school.
You know,
I remember.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Show.
With the, you know what I'm saying? With the Jerry curl, you know what I'm saying? He used to wear the gold chains and the gazelles.
On the bike?
On the bike.
Oh, yeah, I like
snakeskin boots. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's a legend there. You know what I'm saying? And but he always had like, he kept a job. You know what I'm saying? And he always was like, man, when I get this money right here, then I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna do this, you know. And although he wasn't able to do as much as he possibly could, because, you know, police can only made so much money, but, you know, I learned that from him. And you know what I'm saying? And so that edge there and the no quit type attitude too. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter how anything looks. You know what I'm saying? Like he would tell me a lot of stories, a lot of street stories. So I'm not gonna say, but there were situations where his back was always to the wall.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, I always looked at things like, man, I always take stories and then put it in my everyday life. So just like me going to church to look at scriptures and I put it in my everyday life. And I always learned that I said, man, when everybody else says it's impossible, they say that can't be done. You're a walking, living witness that, oh, yes, it can. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, part of my chip on my shoulder, you know, kind of is maybe him too. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of your father, man, how important is Black fatherhood to you?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, hey, well, you know, everybody's situation is different, but I definitely believe in, you know, being the best you can be to your, you know what I'm saying? So being the best father you can be. So like for me, you know, I was talking about my dad.
Mm-hmm.
My dad worked a lot, so I never saw him. So sometimes he'll go in on Monday, I see him Thursday. You know what I'm saying? He'll go on Friday and then I see him Monday. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's for a split second, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so, and I think a lot of our generation can relate to this. We were called the latchkey kids.
Latchkey, you got to carry,
you know what I'm saying? We always had the key around the neck,
yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I try to explain this to my sons, and of course they don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Because
we was doing this around time Wayne Williams.
You feel me?
Yes.
And you was running home because you know he was scared. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You saw a van with no windows in there, but it's time to get up out of here. It's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I always wanted to do things different. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, that, you know, like even if I couldn't be there with them, because that was the thing with my job, you had to go on tour.
Mm-hmm.
You got to work.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, there's no knight in shining armor for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to put in the work, you know what I'm saying? And then we'll try to explain it later. Like, hey, You know
why I couldn't be there.
Why I couldn't be there. If I can, I will.
Mm-hmm.
I would, and if I will, but look at what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times we don't get the guys that do that. We don't get the credit that we should because you know we look at each other. You know they be like, "Well, you're supposed to do that," and you're right. We are, but we're human too.
But and you know we didn't come up under the tutelage where we learned all that.
You know what I'm saying? Because there was no book that said how to be
a man.
You know what I'm saying? A man, a father. You know what I'm saying?
Good
so you're trying to be the
that.
best that you possibly could be, and you know what I'm saying? You're trying to figure, But you know, and I try my best to, you know what I'm saying, instill that. And then you know, the great thing about it is when they come to me, I tell them, I say, hey, I tell you my mistakes, and you know what I'm saying, and
you try to do a little better.
You got to do better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we can break whatever curses or generational curses. Let's break that now. And you know what I'm saying? A lot of it. That's why I keep going back to accountability.
Mm-hmm.
You got to say what it was. You know what I'm saying? And then this is what it is. And then this is what I did do for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, you know,
so you got this. Now let's add on to it.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get up, so I have a grandson.
Yeah.
You know, and my son is doing an amazing job at doing the things, and you know, it kind of makes me kind of emotional there because it's like, damn, like he really paid attention to me even when I thought he didn't.
They do.
You know
we all do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You even did with your father,
and I did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even though you know what I'm saying, people were like, man, y'all didn't even get along. But guess what? I did pay attention.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you this: who are your 5 GOATs of Atlanta R&B groups?
Groups R&B.
Yes.
TLC.
I like that.
Silk.
Okay.
Escape. 112. Jagged Edge. No. Let me say it again. Did I say I haven't said it? Okay, yeah.
Got 5.
That's why you said the five.
5 GOATs.
In Atlanta.
Atlanta. We're doing Atlanta. It's Atlanta culture.
Yep. So I didn't mix my words. TLC. Yep. TLC. Silk. Escape. 112. Jagged Edge.
I like that. That's 5. So who are the 4 forefathers of Atlanta hip hop?
Atlanta hip hop.
Yeah. You was around.
Ooh.
You was around Darren Fears and the Fresh Party.
Yeah. Okay, so okay.
Let's get it.
Yeah. That's Friday at 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We didn't have no rap. People don't get it. It ain't like today.
Ryan had hair. Okay, cool. All right. But see, I can't answer that question
give me yours.
You know why?
Okay.
Because I wasn't able to listen to secular music back then.
Yeah, okay. I go.
So you know what I'm saying? So if it wasn't 1380 at WAOK, you know what I'm saying?
Well, give me the first ones you remember hearing that had an impact on you. In Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay. So you screamed out Darren Fears. I'm going to say Ryan Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Street.
Okay.
See.
I know you look.
So two of the guys I want to call out, but I know they from DC.
That's still cool. Let's call them out. Let's see.
That's what I said. But see, that's why I said like, because
a lot of people
me and Tigger, that was said. I remember
Greg
him
Street
95.
ain't from here.
But see, Greg Street ain't from here, but Greg Street has been here so long.
Yes, he's part of Atlanta fabric.
Like, because first off, he's broken so many local artists, and that's what I be paying attention to right there. Like,
okay,
who was playing Hitman Sammy Sam?
Yeah,
and Kilo
when
they was goddamn beefing every week.
Yeah, you already know.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Who was setting it off? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know
I
what
got
mean?
you.
You know what I'm saying? Because I would love to call Carol Blackman.
I would take Carol Blackman.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. See, that's why I said that's some crazy
back then too.
Holyfield gonna not okay.
Look. I'm gonna tell you a true story. I was at elementary school and we went down to V103 for a field trip. And we met Carol Black. I was like, oh, I love her.
Man, I was like, man, she don't look like none of my aunties. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man,
I was in love with Carol Black, man.
You know, yeah, but there's some things, you know, I like, you know, I was supposed to be religious. I'm like, man, God. You show
looking at this blessed later.
You bless these women, boy. Man, so okay, so yeah. So I gotta call okay, so Darren Fears, Ryan Cameron, Carol Blackman, Greg Street.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can name more artists too. I like the DJ effect. I like going with the DJ.
But see, but that's what I said. I had to, you know what I'm saying? Because see, DJs is another conversation.
And you said that.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's why I said
that's the reason we're here.
Yeah, because we're here. Because you said because when you said hip hop, because I remember, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knew about the, you know what I'm saying? What you call, that's where, oh my God. And we go to Candler Road every Friday. I used to get a beat with the.
Oh, you talking about Edward J?
Edward J. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said, you know, this is stuff that you know what I'm saying? This is how I listen to. I didn't know that, you know what I'm saying? Come back to me. You know, Janet Jackson. I remember he had the pillow bass, you know what I'm saying?
That pillow bass.
You know what I'm saying? And the bass
that's how you had your girls in the car. You know what I'm saying? But you still had the R&B.
You know what I'm saying?
But you still had your speakers
hey,
on.
Man,
yeah.
I tried to hold on to that mother. Somebody stole my Edward J tapes.
Yeah,
man. Boy, I would do something crazy, man. But you know, I cut a lot of grass for that, man.
J tapes.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so. So you have, but that's the foe. I can't put Edward J in there because he was like a different type of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, underground street.
You know what I'm saying? Underground street. So I want to say,
Edward J is a pastor now. You ain't gonna put the pastor in there with all you.
Who?
You know Edward J a pastor.
No, he ain't.
Yes, he is. Edward J is a pastor now. That's why you don't see him doing interviews and doing stuff.
But he be preaching like this.
King Edward J,
say. DJ Kizzy Rock.
You already know.
Man, this is wild. But you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think. The fifth person, Jerry Smoking Beat.
Okay. I take that. I forgot all about Jerry Smoking Beat.
Come on, man. Hey, big shout out to Jerry Smoking Beat. He snuck me in Mr. V's, you know what I'm saying, right over there.
Mr. V, you know I already know. My parents used to go to Mr. V.
Yes, sir, man. Yeah. I wasn't old enough, but it's all good.
Yeah. I'm about to say, you definitely wasn't old enough. My folks are going, you had to get suited and booted to go to Mr. V.
Man, I got me a polyester shirt. I was 120. I tried to grow my mustache out. My mustache all bushy, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that mother looked at me on it. They had a little baby face. I'm like, God dang.
So look, what you got going on now? Tell the people what you got going on.
Oh my goodness. Well, so first off, you know, 112, we're in the midst of our 30-year Room 112 World Tour, and it's doing amazing. We will be in Atlanta February 6th. I think they're trying to add another one. I think maybe 6th and 7th, but definitely a 6 at the Tabernacle. So big shout out to my whole team, everybody, you know what I'm saying, my whole team from Mike to, you know what I'm saying, Abraham, Lucky Calhoun, Greg Brown, and I said Abraham, Big Dre, DJ Stormy, that's our DJ. Just our whole team. We just out here, we doing our thing and getting our flowers. And I'm officially starting my label, you know, M3, about to close something, and I'll probably come back here and actually talk about it.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? I have some artists that, you know what I'm saying, that I definitely about to pop off. And I'm working on my project right now, you know what I'm saying? And that is about to be really, really crazy.
Tell them where they can reach you at too.
So, hey, you can reach me on my Instagram. It's officialslim_. I think it's also that my Facebook, you know, it's a Slim of 112. My TikTok. I got that stuff going on.
Yeah,
Man,
we know that ain't our shit.
Hey,
so
man,
I
that's
get
how,
you.
you know,
I
like
just
to
gotta
see
do
you
it with
straight up,
times.
but this is what we doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I try my best to be on there as much as possible, but my Instagram page, I'm more on it. And I just got a lot of endeavors. Like I said, I gotta bring y'all hoodies and stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, the pop-up shop out there, you know what I'm saying, with Greg Brown and C-Bone. You know what I'm saying?
My
So, you know, it's dope
C-Bone.
story.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
my partner.
Greg Brown with Watch Guard Works. You know what I'm saying? You know, do it. Rest in peace, Paulie Calhoun. You know what I'm saying? He has this clothing line with Asia and them. And it just, man, I got Airbnbs and I got all kind of stuff right there. Big shout out to my cousin, who's also the first African American, Black African American sheriff.
Oh, okay.
Down there in Henry County.
Okay.
Reginald Scandrett, Sheriff Reginald
Okay.
Scandrett. That's my cousin. And that's my whole family down there. So we doing a lot of great things in the community. That's why you see Shaq out there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Y'all seen Shaq
I know
got promoted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he's been out there for years.
Yeah, he's
you know
been
what I'm
out there
saying?
for a minute.
And you know, that's the whole team out there and doing a lot of great things in Henry County. So so whether it's, you know, on the road or it's in the community, you know what I'm saying? I'm out here and I'm representing Atlanta to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? And unapologetically, man. Love what y'all doing here, bro.
I appreciate it. We got, before you get up out of here, we got a little rapid fire too.
Okay.
So we're going to start off like this. Greenbrier Mall or Shannon Mall?
Oh, Greenbrier Mall.
Okay. Eastland boots or polo boots?
Polo boots.
Jodeci or Silk?
Pass.
You can't pass, man.
See, cause that right there, cause that right there,
it's gonna hurt some people's feelings.
No, it ain't hurting no feelings, but cause you know what I'm saying, Silk to me, we know what the hierarchy with Jodeci, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Silk for 112 was the Boyz II Men of Atlanta for us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that not as 112, but as Forte. If y'all knew about the talent shows, you know what I'm saying, in ATL, you know what I'm saying, anybody who has a deal, you know what I'm saying, and they were from Atlanta, was in those talent shows. And they had to deal with us, except for one group. Silk, thank God, because they were blowing, huh? That was our closest of losing something. You know what I'm saying? But we never, they got the deal way before.
Okay, so Jodeci or Silk? You thought I was gonna let y'all do it?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna push.
All right. Do-rags or fitted caps?
Oh, do-rag.
Okay. Princess falsetto or Maxwell's falsetto? Ooh.
Well, I mean, both of them are off the chain, but you know what I'm saying? Because it's Prince, it's Prince.
Yeah, he the man. KC or Wanye, strictly vocals.
God dang it.
This shit ain't supposed to be easy, boss.
What the?
Come on.
So I'm friends with both of these cats too. What is this? Yeah. Okay, all right. This and then what's crazy about so I knew about KC when he was in the Gospel Haley Singers. You know what I'm saying? So
y'all still be friends.
No, it's not the friendship. It's more of like, how do you
rate them?
So how you rate it? Because it's like both of them are no hierarchy gods. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just like, Boyz II Men sold over 300 million records. You know what I'm saying? If I had a voice that could sell 300 million records.
Oh man, we not going. Who you gonna get in the car and ride to, man?
I listened to both of them. And they both on the playlist. They both came out at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
Oh man, that push, man.
God damn it. Okay.
That's crazy work.
Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson.
Man, I got no more pushes now.
Yeah, no more pushes. You done 2 pushes.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, who wants to be a millionaire? You know what I'm saying? All right, well, because of my voice, I'm going to say Michael Jackson.
And you just went with whoever sold the most money. You got to go with Michael.
Yeah, right? But see, that's what I said. Because God dang.
Stevie Wonder or Luther?
Stevie Wonder.
What's the best wing spot in Atlanta to you?
Ooh. Oh, that's crazy work. Oh man. See,
you can't figure none of it out, huh?
Because, and I'm a connoisseur of food, you know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I'm medium, not slim right now. But
I like that.
Okay, my go-to right now, as of right now, because that changes up every 3 months. But my go-to as of right now is River and Roost down there in Henry County. It's called River and Roost. Y'all come anywhere. River and Roost. Big shout out to them, you know what I'm saying? They know.
Look, since we got you here on Atlanta Culture, man, we want to give you your flowers, man.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? 112, Slim as a solo artist, man.
Appreciate it.
You was some of the guys that I love listening to, still do love listening to. Like I say, Cupid was one of my favorite songs, ever got me through a lot. And this what we bring y'all here for, to give y'all flowers and let everybody know in Atlanta how important y'all are to Atlanta's fabric and history, man.
That's, man. And to know that, you know, I even made the phone call, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I ain't gonna hold you, you know, now you learn a lot on the podcast. Like, you learn a lot, right? You know what I'm saying? Cause I didn't know, you know what I'm saying, about Bow Wow's beef, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like this, you know.
We try to dig into some shit people
That's why I
know.
said, you know, Kilo, Sammy the Sam, you know what I'm saying? If you from Atlanta, you know what time it was, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, man, y'all know who y'all should bring, cause, you know.
Let us know.
Man, so back in the day, you know what I'm saying, we had the talent shows, you had the dance groups, you know what I'm saying? You had the Yeek.
We got it coming. We already had, that's already on the list.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Already got a dog and everybody lined up.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so, you know, you had Gas and Mail, 24K. And see, I remember, so I want to just let y'all know that, you know what I'm saying, that we appreciate you, know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely sculptured even us singers, you know what I'm saying? Because one thing, like with the dancing, it was, they put on shows, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't, you know, when we got up there, we just got in front of a mic and just sung.
Speaking of dance, not to cut you off, it's one question I did want to get into with y'all dancing.
Mm-hmm.
So we heard during the Peaches and Cream video that they had y'all out there working for hours on dance steps. Tell me about that. Now that you mentioned dancing,
man, that's what I was trying to say. Okay, so that's why I was trying to go to. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, you know, y'all made it. I mean, the dance culture in Atlanta, they made it seem easy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, everybody, you know, he got to do a little yeet. You know what I'm saying? And you start doing these dance steps, and I found out real quickly that, you know, I might have 2 left feet. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we kept practicing, and look who the tutelage came from under Divine Stevens. We all know he was part of, what group he was a guest? I don't want to say it wrong. But Divine, we know, you know what I'm saying? He was part of, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was part of the Yeek culture. And, you know, he taught us, and he put people around us like Al Jamal, and, you know what I'm saying? And they taught us. So we were programmed to do certain stuff, but sometimes, you know, when you're in a different environment, you know what I'm saying? And then they try to tell you, like, okay, so we're going to add this right here, and there's no mirrors in front of you, you know what I'm saying? Now, I need you to do this move, that, boom, 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 and then you're going to do it right here. For some reason in my minds, it was just, you know what I'm saying? So, well, it would have took some people 5 minutes, might have took us some hours, you know what I'm saying? And there's different things, you setting up different setups and stuff. It's not like how it is now. You know, you put a green screen in, you know what I'm saying, being in another part of the world. But, you know what I'm saying? But there, you know, so yeah, it took hours, and, you know what I'm saying? But it came out right.
It came out right. It damn sure did.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man, I appreciate you coming to fuck with me on Atlanta Culture.
Hey, man, that's love, man. You already know what time it is, man.
Slim.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Yeah, man, another episode of Atlanta Culture, and we out.
We out.
This is a Big Facts Network exclusive.